All right. Wow. So, that was a crazy game. Ravens went up to Indianapolis to take on the Colts, and they get the 24-10 victory over the Colts in what was a game of two halves, man. This Ravens squad today, I don't know what to make of this. The offense, oh my God, the offense. It's like two different offenses we're playing out here. Defensively, man, I'm so proud of these guys on the defense. There's so much that goes into this. And I hope this game means something, not just for the team, but like in terms of where we're actually going this season. This is a big win. This is a really big win. And I feel like what the offense did in the second half could end up building into something that could take us the long way. But we have to see if they can build on what they established. Let's get into this game because it was crazy. First of all, let's talk about the defense. The defense today, oh my God, giving up 10 points today. Fantastic job by the defense, because that defense didn't have Marlon Humphrey and all the other players that were on that list that couldn't practice this week came out here and played well. You would assume because they didn't get to practice this week, they're going to be rusty, out of sync, not being able to do what they got to do. But no, despite everything that happened this week, defense was ready to go from the jump. And they did their job in defending Phillip Rivers and that Colts offense and limit them to 10 points. In the first half, they gave up 10 points. That's fair. But in the second half, they shut them down. Not a single point was scored in the second half. Fantastic job by this defense. They forced 2 turnovers. I think both turnovers were actually forced by Marcus Peters. The first one was the punch-out fumble that I believe was caused by Marcus Peters, and Chuck Clark picked that up and took it 65 yards down to score a touchdown and tie it at 7-7. The second turnover was in the third quarter where Marcus Peters picked off Phillip Rivers. Now, when I first looked at the play, I was like, I'm not exactly sure that's a pick. I'm pretty sure that'd be more of an incompletion. But they reviewed it and said he had enough to really count it as a completion. He made enough for a football play. I think he caught it. He had control, and he took like 3 steps backwards before it came out of his hands. So they counted that as a completion, then a fumble that was recovered by the Ravens. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. We got the turnover. And other than that, the defense did their job. Now, here's what sucked. Calais Campbell suffered an injury. I believe it was a calf injury that he suffered. Maybe he had a cramp or something, but he suffered a calf injury and he was out for the rest of the game. That happened, I believe, in the first drive of the game for the Colts, where he suffered that calf injury and he was just out for the rest of the game. Ravens just felt either he couldn't go or they didn't want to risk it, which I'm perfectly fine with, but man, that one sucked. And it just really felt like it was going to be a day of injuries. There were several injuries for the Colts. Hopefully those guys are doing well. Patrick Queen was down on the floor for quite some time. I was scared, but he was just fine. I think he just got a little bit winded or something. He was fine. He got back up. They took him out for a couple plays. He came back in, finished the game. He did well. But yeah, man, this defense, they did their job. They held up, so congrats to them. But today is all about the offense because I don't know what to make about them. You guys saw in my halftime video, I was completely depressed and just looking at this offense with disappointing eyes. First half, we had 55 total yards of offense. 55. We couldn't move the ball at all. We had 0 plays inside the red zone. And the biggest play we had the entire first half was a 15-yard penalty on a hit on Lamar Jackson. That's embarrassing. That's unacceptable. That is wild to think that our offense in the first half came out and played like that. Honestly, going into halftime, I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't believe the game was over. I believed they could turn it around, but I just didn't know what to make of this offense. I was like, could it possibly get any worse than this? Something's got to happen. Something's got to change. Adjustments have to be made. And surprisingly, it happened. Bruh, I don't know what was said in that locker room. I don't know what happened in that locker room. But all of a sudden, the Ravens offense came out with an entirely different attitude. The pacing was different. The focus was different. The body language was different. The way they approached everything was just different. Greg Roman in the second half actually made adjustments and decided, you know what? We're going to play at Lamar Jackson's pace. We're going to put the ball in his hands and let him go to work. We're going to let Lamar Jackson take control, give him the keys, let him decide what he wants to do. And we're going to pick up the tempo and play faster because Lamar's a fast quarterback, so you got to play at his tempo. So we're going to play at his tempo offensively for the second half. Greg Roman made that decision, put the ball in Lamar's hands, let him go to town, and all of a sudden this offense can move the ball. I mean, I'm seeing Lamar Jackson himself, who was a different quarterback in the second half. I mean, this dude in the first half, he was over there, he was hesitating. He was very passive. He wasn't making plays. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't attacking at all. It really seemed like Lamar Jackson was just not ready for the game. And then he comes out in the second half, and I swear he looked like MVP Lamar. I mean, this dude was out there attacking the secondary. He didn't care if an offensive line was going to block for him or not. He went out there and made plays. I mean, this dude's attacking the secondary in the passing and in the running game. Even the way he was running the football was different from the first half. Like, he was running aggressively. And the biggest change I saw was just the whole level of aggressiveness on the offense. 4th down and 3. We have a lead that's 14-10, 4th down and 3 at midfield. They go for that. They actually went for that, which honestly shows that they completely changed their approach and decided we're going to be aggressive and we're going to attack. This is how we want to do our things now. We're not going to play passive. We're going to be aggressive and attack, which says a lot because for much of this season, when we've gotten to 4th and short at midfield, we've kind of punted the football. It just seems like they didn't trust their offense to make that play. Today, in the second half, they trusted this offense to make that play. And what do you know? We got the first down. The whole, just everything changed. The play calling got more aggressive. Lamar Jackson actually looked like his MVP self, just going out there and wrecking the Colts secondary and basically putting them on edge. They didn't know what to do. They actually didn't know what to do at this point. They were confused as to, the pace was too fast for the Colts. They couldn't keep up. They couldn't keep up both in the run game and in the pass game. They didn't know what was going on. Lamar was doing whatever he wanted to do out there. 10 straight completions. I think he finished the second half 10 for 10 for like over 100 yards passing, like 120 yards passing or something like that. This guy went out there and played like MVP Lamar in the second half. It was crazy to see this. Not only that, but the receivers themselves, they also respond. They were making catches. Hollywood Brown made a catch downfield. Willie Snead was doing this. Every Boykin even made a catch. Got the first down. Everybody was engaged. And even this offensive line, they were engaged too. They started blocking better, which gave an opportunity for our run game to actually start taking off as well. J.K. Dobbins started to go off, and then Gus Edwards started to get a couple good carries. And even Lamar Jackson, we saw he was aggressively running, but the blocking was helping him get those opportunities. And it actually helped out developing the whole touchdown run from Lamar Jackson because they blocked so well, and because the offense was going at such a fast pace that the Colts couldn't keep up, they slipped up and Lamar Jackson he just took it. He faked the run and took it himself into the end zone for a touchdown. Beautiful execution right there. Great blocking by the offensive line and even great pass protecting for much of the second half. They gave Lamar the opportunity to throw the ball and Lamar responded by attacking the secondary and he did a great job at it. So you've got to be proud with what you saw from this offense. If this is how they can play moving forward, they might revive their offense, man. I mean, this was something special. This was something special because this one meant everything. This was a big game. This is the game the Ravens had to win. Not only because it was a team that was over 500. By the way, coming into this game, we were 0-2 against teams over 500. The two teams we faced that were over 500 were the Chiefs and the Steelers. We lost both of them. We couldn't afford to lose to another team that's over 500. That's one. And two, we were down 10-7 at halftime. We lost 20 consecutive games when we're down going into halftime. We had to win this game. And they flipped it. A switch flipped in the offense. And all of a sudden, they just changed their approach, got more aggressive, and started attacking. And I love it. I love that they got aggressive. I love that they were willing to attack. I love what I saw. Man, just great job by this offense in the second half. They were a different team. Hopefully, they can build from this. Okay? They can build from this. Now, again, like I said, the play calling itself is still predictable for the most part, But when you can play at a faster pace, defenses aren't going to be able to recognize that. And I think that's one of the things that helped us out last season, because for a second there, the Ravens offense looked like the 2020 Ravens offense in the second half against the Colts looked like the 2019 Ravens offense. They were calling very similar plays. The only reason they were working out is because the tempo was so fast that the Colts didn't know what we're doing. They couldn't keep up. When the Ravens offense plays fast, teams cannot keep up. When they play slow, we got nothing. This is not the type of team where we can just play slow tempo on offense and just expect our plays to work out. No, the play calling for the most part is still predictable. However, when you can play those same plays at a faster pace, who's going to stop it? You don't know what to do. If the Ravens are playing the same type of play calls that they were doing at a slow pace, but they speed up the tempo and play it at a faster pace and get a little bit more aggressive, it's going to be tough to stop this offense. That's just what we did last year, so why not try and apply it this year for the most part? I really wish we can get a little bit more creative, and I see Greg Roman being creative because in the first half, he was being creative. They were starting to try and get the short pass game going. They threw a couple screens. They tried to get that going. The only problem is that wasn't working out because the tempo we were running was slow. If he can apply that same creativity with the new faster tempo, our offense may have a heartbeat, and they might start to take off. So we'll just have to see. Let's see if they can build off of this. The biggest part was the fact that they got more aggressive and they sped up the tempo of the offense. I think that's what they need to do moving forward. Overall, solid job by the offense. First half didn't look great, but second half, they turned it up, and I like that. I want to see Greg Roman and this offense build on this. I want to see this Lamar Jackson. When Lamar Jackson is attacking, he's at his best. When he's not hesitant, he's at his best. When he's willing to take those risks and those shots downfield with full confidence, the team's at their best. Because when Lamar is playing fast and in a rhythm, the team plays fast and in a rhythm. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully they build on this, because this was nice. This was nice to see by the Ravens offense. They emerged in the second half, and I enjoyed watching them play like that in the second half. They completely threw the Colts defense for a loop. The Colts could not believe this was the same team they were playing in the first half. It was a crazy transition, and hopefully they'll build on this. Let them take the way they played, the tempo they played at. Let's see them consistently bring that with them moving forward this season and continue to be more creative on offense. And I'm telling you, we've got something here. This could be a breakthrough, but only if they choose to build on this performance. We'll have to see. Overall, great job by the defense. As always, special teams does their job well, so great job by them. And a very solid job by the offense, because that first half wasn't great, but for them to turn it around the way they did in the second half, spectacular. Gotta love what I saw. So, that's it. Ravens moved to 6-2. Colts fall to 5-3. Very interesting game. Very, very interesting game. The one thing that did suck was the one turnover by Gus Edwards. It was Gus Edwards. Yeah, at the goal line, he fumbled the ball, which took away a possession and gave it back to the Colts. But hey, Marcus Peters gave us that back with the pick, so it is what it is. Anyway, that's all I got for this, man. Great win by the Ravens. Let's build on what we did in the second half, and let's see if we can revive this offense moving forward. That's all I got, and I'm out of here. Peace. Go Ravens. That was some Ravens football playing out there, man.